Hey there, and welcome to the Second Lunch Podcast. This is episode Christian Yelich, Chris Middleton, Emmett Smith. It's 22, right?
I think so. Yep.
Okay.
No, I know so.
I know I said we were going to stop counting, but...
I like it now that we're attaching athletes to it. Makes it fun.
No, I
Gives me something to look forward to.
can't wait for Ricky Weeks next time. I've had a weird day. My day started with... How do you feel about ice cream trucks?
Love them.
I think they're bad news.
Oh, they're bad news.
You're probably thinking...
I agree.
Bad news for a couple reasons. Diabetes rolling around.
Yeah. DJ Metformin over here.
Are you thinking... DJ Metformin. Are you thinking of a proper ice cream truck?
Yeah, like one it's got the jingle. It's got the SpongeBob, popsicle and the Choco Taco, even though I know they got discontinued.
I like that I asked about a proper truck, and you're like, yeah, it's got the jingle, and you went right.
The truck is beat up. It's not like a super creepy truck,
like
but it's not like
truck, like a proper. Like this is
right.
This is not somebody's van. See, the one that comes to my neighborhood
I'm worried.
is somebody's van that they've put like ice cream stickers on the windows, and they're playing the music. And
you better be driving that Toyota Tundra directly into international
every
waters.
time I'm like pedophile. Every single time I see the guy, I'm like, this guy's bad. And like I'm especially not letting my
It's
kid
amazing
outside.
what an ice cream truck gives you in terms of authority. I think it really, the ice cream truck kind of bestows a level of trust, not dissimilar from a fireman in the fire truck.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
well, I've got the jingle and the SpongeBob popsicles.
It's playing out of like a fucking boombox where the batteries are dying, so it kind of falters through it. This doesn't sound like Scott Joplin at all. Oh.
Well, he's got the popsicle, he's got the jingle. It checks out.
That's the last ice cream they're going to have before a porridge winter. That's what that song sounded like.
I don't know if that's a prison suit or a uniform, but it looks good. Every time I see the guy, he's like a creepy old, like balding like me, but worse. And the more balding you are, because there comes a point where you're just like, you got to either shave your head or kill yourself. You can't just be that.
You can't let it ride.
Yeah.
You can't do like the Jesse Ventura skull.
Combing over two hairs. But today, I saw teenagers driving that truck. And
now he's got kids
my
working
first thought was, the pedophiles are starting young these days. That was my first thought. I never for a second thought these kids got a summer job and they're not pedophiles.
No.
I'd already decided because of the truck.
Yeah, to even be around this man, he's like Dean Coral. Like you've been brought in on his crimes now, and you're in on the fucking... Yeah, definitely doing it with a non-proper vehicle is an immediate problem. And is he playing the jingle out of this work vehicle that does he at least have the jingle going?
He's got the jingle.
Okay.
So you trust him.
He's definitely gone a long way for me, but I don't think I'm the target audience for
It sounds bad, though. It sounds like, again, somebody playing it out of a boombox into a megaphone. Like, it's kind of staticky, and it's not good.
Weird amount of feedback. So did you buy ice cream from
Fuck
him?
no. I went to the store and got ice cream. I was inspired, but I was not going to contribute.
I'm glad that he's still got enough of the marketing bravado to have inspired you to buy ice cream.
Goddamn, well, if he owns Tom Thumb, then he really...
Okay, so he owns the store up the street. I'll scare him in that direction. I'll spook him that way. I think that's how herding dogs work.
Yeah, I'm not letting Kendall touch that shit. When it comes that time, like... I don't know. I used to be able... I remember, like, in my neighborhood, hearing the ice cream truck and being like, oh, shit, I got to get the money and fucking book it up the hill. Like, yeah. I got to get in this man's eyesight so I can get some of this ice cream out of a truck.
Is there any other business model that requires that sort of exercise where you're like, oh, fuck, I got to go? Like,
Can you imagine if food trucks were like that? You're running a quarter mile for a taco.
Yeah, I need a torta, please.
Uh,
The very person most likely to want to run for a torta is ironically least able to do so. I need one burrito.
I'll wait till you come back.
Yeah. 20 minutes? All right.
Yeah, I know there's a cul-de-sac up there. You're going to have to come back this direction. Gives me time to catch my breath and think about that second torta. Yeah. Kendall, speaking of, said her first word.
Speaking of.
Recently,
Nice
yeah.
to see what you did there.
Yeah. She said, Dada.
You're number one, dude.
And at first I was like, oh no, she's just making noises because she just kind of babbles.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's my favorite thing. Her just making noise. It's so cute. But she kind of whispered it. I was like, we were waking up slowly and, I don't rush her in the morning because I have to wake up slowly. I don't know if that's how she is yet, but I'm not just going to be like, all right, let's go. Because that's kind of
and then you're not awake yet.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I got the kid all riled up. And
So we're just kind of hanging out, and I'm fucking with her a little bit, like getting her belly and giving her little smooches on the cheeks. And she just like whispered it. She was like, Dada. And I was like, no, she's just making noises.
fucking with me.
Then the second time she truly said it, and Katie's still like, no, she's just making, like, Katie doesn't want to believe it, that I got the first word. She's like, well, mama is way harder to say. And I was like, that's not the point. She didn't. Yeah, it does sound like some looser shit to me. It does, yeah. So next on the list of words to say is Antetokounmpo. We're working on it.
You're going to try to disprove the difficulty component.
Yeah.
That's not why.
Yeah. You know how pissed Katie would be if she went Dada, Antetokounmpo, mama.
Yeah, that's definitely. And Moose is getting left out in the cold here, I got to say.
Yeah.
The dog's like, I'm behind that Greek name. I got one syllable. Well, that's awesome, though. Congratulations on that. I don't know if I told you that before, but we're going to cut this because it's not very funny. But congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Chris, what's the best cuisine? I like how you phrase this. Not what's your favorite. You've put it combatively.
Yeah. I think the best. Okay, my favorite. Yeah, I think it's my favorite and the best. Italian. It's just everybody likes pizza. People don't even think about pizza being Italian. They just think like I want pizza, and that just. But pizza's just part of the Italian cuisine. All sorts of different noodle things.
That's a great broad description for it.
I'm not crazy about tomatoes. These folks have figured it out. Bruschetta. Oh my God. Yeah, I think that it has to be. I think it's the most universally appreciated of the
it's
cuisines.
least likely to be off-putting to people.
Right.
I think like Italian and Mexican are two of those foods.
Italian, Mexican,
Tex-Mex.
Chinese, I think, are the ones, if you went with somebody who's a picky eater, they could find something to eat and be happy with it.
Yeah, there's a broad enough spectrum.
You can't just take anybody to get Thai food.
Yeah, like for me, Thai would be very high on that list. But then when I'm thinking about like, oh, what would I choose for the group? That wouldn't necessarily be it. I also always order all of my food as spicy as possible, which means that like group eating,
Right.
I obviously tone it down for that because I'm not that much of a
Do you
jerk.
mean group sweating?
Well, that's the thing is I'm not going to do that to other people, but then I'm not getting what I want. Whereas Chinese food, very rarely the Chinese food you get where we live, types of places folks go, you're not going to get blown out. We're not getting like hot pot in Chengdu, so you're not going to get like, super spicy food. But yeah, Thai and Indian are the two that I really love that I would not choose because I know like Ashley's a little picky.
Yeah.
Other people could be picky. The Mexican, but I will say, even though I'm not going to go like broader American as a cuisine, a burger joint similarly seems to usually, even vegetarian folks, it's like, oh shit, I got the Portobello burger. I've got the Beyond Burger.
That reminds me, I had this friend in high school who, any place we would go, no matter what, even if it was a Mexican restaurant, he would get chicken tenders. No matter what. Without fail, he would get the chicken tenders. And there was one time me and Shane were having a conversation about our favorite restaurants. And this guy chimes in. He's like, oh, yeah, the chicken tenders there. We're like, fuck off.
Yeah,
the
what are you talking about?
there.
You're
Like,
evaluating a food nobody else.
Like they didn't all come out of the same bag from the same fucking
Yeah, it's like who has the
restaurant
best
supply
fryer oil?
restaurant.
Who's got their fryer temp most calibrated is more what you're
Right,
evaluating.
Right.
Yeah, I try to this is actually a total side question that I want to ask. Do you make edits to your food often? So obviously if there's something you don't like, the poor souls for whom cilantro tastes like soap and they're like, yeah, I'll get this, no cilantro. But like, do you make modifications? Because that's one that I never do. I take
Ever.
There's the only time, I shouldn't say never, that I take sour cream off of my Mexican food. So usually
It doesn't seem like that it works there.
Well,
I've never
usually it's a big
understood
old dollop on the top, and it's like, if this was spread through the burrito, maybe it could be. But that's the only. That's really the
making me
only
do the
deal.
work
I can't think of anything else that I go. Please
I
remove this.
I get an Italian nightclub sandwich from Jimmy John's. I take the tomato off. The slices are just too big there. It's too much.
Yeah, I get the turkey tom there sometimes, and that's built around the tomato, and they're using the same tomato when it's an accessory and when it's a main event.
yeah, right. And then I add peppers to it because set my tongue on fire.
That's a pretty mild. So what you're telling me is more or less no, you're not doing crazy
Not really.
changes. Yeah,
I'll add pickled jalapenos to a burrito when possible.
adding, I think, is also different. You add something, usually they're like, oh, yeah, we'll charge you $1 and throw some stuff on there. Taking stuff off is more of
my
a
only edit
pickiness
is
factor.
ever tomato, and it's not that I hate tomato. It's just some places, like a Euro, I'll take if it's a big old slice,
Yeah.
that's not going to work for me.
Like, yeah.
If you've got it
Can you
diced
do
up,
a little more work on this.
yeah, right.
Yeah, that's really because, Ashley does do the edits, which is fine, but she puts herself at serious risk in the
especially
Uber Eats world
exactly.
of just complete things falling apart.
Right.
I actually order, if we're going the fast food route, I will order different menu items so that there's a better chance, because I feel like if I get a Big Mac and she gets one without cheese, now I've just given them a math problem. But if I go quarter pounder with cheese, now I've changed the game, right? They're not.
So she has to order first, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah,
what are you getting, and what are the edits?
I can build my order around anything. Ashley, you can take precedent. But yeah, that's it depends on where you're going. Some places do better than others. Some places they're never going to get it right, no matter what. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think Italian is probably the number one. What was your first concert?
My first concert was Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was awesome. And I still, to this day, think the only single showman, like single artist I've ever seen put on a better show was Billy Joel. And that might have just been because he's a legend and has a ton of hits. Weird Al is fucking incredible live. His voice is crazy, by the way. If you think, I don't know how much any of our listeners are listening to Weird Al, but
Nick, shout out.
if you think they're editing the shit out of that, they are not. That guy can flat out sing.
And Nick also told me that his backing band has been with him for quite a while, and they're, talented session musicians that, again, that some of them have been playing with him for 20 years now, so they know what he wants out of the live performance, which sometimes that's, it's not about the technical ability. It's the
He also
would chemistry.
have like interlude videos, like sketches, because he put on, it was probably a 2-hour show.
Right.
And
You got to sell out the Puyallup Fair somehow.
it was Puyallup Fair.
Nice.
It was. And he would do these like sketches that were really funny, and it was like, that's a creative way to give yourself a break while still being entertaining.
Right.
Yeah, it was really good.
That is a good way to do it.
What was your
the way
first
like
concert?
Ozzy would do that, I've seen. So, very first concert I remember seeing was like Tracy Chapman at at Bumbershoot when I was
That's
like 6 or
kinda
7.
cool.
Oh yeah, she was
You
great.
just play Fast Car on repeat.
Give me one reason to stay here.
Isn't that what the song's about?
So that was that's the earliest one I truly remember. But then, like shows I was a little more, I'd say, engaged in, like the earliest ones. I mean, Bumbershoot.
What was
you'd
the
always
first one
see
that was
shit.
your decision? Like
First-
you wanted to go.
First, oh man, I definitely can say the first one I was really enthused about was going to my first Ozfest when I was like 11. Where like I know I had seen stuff before that I was excited about, but it's Ozzy, and Ozzy's gonna do the Ozzy hits. He's gonna play Sabbath, and I mean, of course,
Might kill a chicken.
Let's see who throws what where. Definitely gonna take his shirt off. He's also indistinguishable. You can't understand him. Well, I should be fair. At the time, this was when he was on the Osbournes and had been prescribed a bunch of nonsense by a quack doctor. So we saw him at a time where he was particularly hard to understand.
It's amazing he could still play music.
Oh, that's what I was going to say is even at that point, when he would snap into song, it sounded like it was 1985 again. Like, truly sounded good. And, of course, I mean, they could be doing whatever.
Shit, who is that guy? He's like an older artist, and he's got really bad dementia now. In fact, he might be dead now. His story is a couple years old. He was like a mentor to Lady Gaga or something.
Tony Bennett?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Tony Bennett's still with us, but he has, if I'm not mistaken, he's still with us, but he's retired from live performance because, yes, he's like 95.
Well, this was the deal. Like, he had really bad dementia, and, like, even just talking to you, he'd have no idea where. But when he got on stage, boom, he's back.
Right. And there is a term for that. There is for that sort of
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one. But that sort of hardwired memory.
Yeah.
That even before you have dementia, Alzheimer's, some other traumatic brain situation where you lose memory. Where there was a guy that had retrograde amnesia, and he would forget. His memory would reset every 7 or 8 minutes, which sounds like a movie, but it was very much a real person. But when you sat him in front of a piano, he was just classically trained. And he'd start play. He could remember how to play everything. That was one part of him that never got eliminated.
What would snap me out of dementia? Watching porn.
Oh man,
Russian teen butthole. Like, oh shit.
and
we're back.
I seen her squirt before.
What happened? To
That's
me?
a fantastic question. That was really well played. What would be the thing to bring me out of? Wouldn't be playing piano or something truly skilled. It'd be whatever dumbass phone game I've been playing.
Knuckle shuffle, baby.
Yeah. I'm going through my fantasy baseball lineup for the 4th time that day because I smoked too much pot to remember the other 3 times. Oh, and he's back.
Where's Clemens?
Guess who just got out of a fugue state? All right. When you want to get drunk faster than the service at a restaurant, do you order 2 drinks?
Absolutely, I do. This is a move I got from my mom.
Complicated move, really.
She is always double fisting it. Always. Especially when we go to like Big Fish or something, one of those restaurants where it's like, it's nice so they're not trying to have you get drunk.
Yeah, they don't need to cause a scene around
right.
the China.
They're kind of being deliberately slow. But she knows that, and she's like, okay, well, I would like to have high-quality fish and also be hammered. So can you just
Why do you think I'm eating healthy?
Can you bring me 2 and make them doubles?
There's one benefit of eating healthy, right? That the booze sets in. I ate fish.
Right.
I didn't have a double cheese.
Well, they only brought me 4, so
it's
that's why I skipped the bread.
I definitely do that at bars. Like, I'm trying to remember the bar in Ballard that I fucking hate. Luckily, I haven't had to go there in years. Kings.
I know what you're talking
they have skee ball. Everybody's always like, they have skee ball. Yeah, they also have a fucking 10-person deep line at the bar every time.
I am buying a skee ball machine.
There you go. Yeah, then we don't have to go to Kings. Wonderful. I'm double sold. Then when we have guests on, they can try to compete with us.
Fucking right.
But yeah, that was a place where I would always get 2 beers at a time and perhaps 3. Now, another approach is to just go straight up Long Island. Now, Long Island iced tea is a great life hack on getting drunk fast anywhere, anytime. Just cut through the fog. But you can't order 2 of those. There's a bar in Ballard also, the Smoke Shop. You're not allowed to order more than 2. You can order as many shots as you want. But somebody ruined that for everybody. Somebody had 3.
Fucking Scott.
started stabbing the drywall. Fuck you, man. You see how he looked at me? So yeah, that's if I'm not going 2 beer, I'm just going to convert to the Long Island.
Yeah, when I'm in a bar, I always... Oh, man, I'm an alcoholic. It's hitting me just now. I am
What
like...
do we do on this show?
I'm yeah, we don't drink that much. My move is always, hey, guys, you find a place to sit. I'll go get the drinks. And then I take a shot when I'm at the bar and get 2 beers for myself and bring everybody else their drinks.
Yeah, well, that's just compensating for a weight class difference at a certain point, too. It's like, guys, honestly...
I got 150 on you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm doing this for your sake. All right, last of the Tinderella for today. Does your significant other think you're funny?
No, I'm fucking constantly bombing at home. Constantly bombing. And it annoys me to the point now that I still say whatever I'm going to say that I know is funny, even if it's just for Moose, because it has to happen.
Yeah, you don't want to stifle that. Then it'll start going away.
But now I'm also, like, getting annoyed that it's not working, so I'll do jokes that I know are not going to land because that's even funnier to me. Like, every time we go to Costco, I have the same bit with Katie. She hates pineapple. Fucking hates pineapple.
Do you want some?
So every time we walk past pineapple, I go, hey, should we get some pineapple? And she fucking hates it. She'll sincerely tell me to fuck off or shut the fuck up, or like she gets actually mad.
No longer has the patience for the gag.
Last time I didn't even say it because I didn't feel like being told to fuck off. She went to go get something.
My feelings were a little too sensitive at that point.
I went and got a pineapple while she went and got something else. I put it in the cart upside down, which is like it's like a sign for swingers or something, upside down pineapple in your shopping cart. So I thought it was funny for multiple reasons. And I've never felt fuck off without hearing it the way I did watching her walk back to the cart.
I didn't know folks felt that passionately about pineapple. I love pineapple.
Oh, I think she's just mad that I keep doing the joke.
Right.
Who doesn't like pineapple? I don't even understand. Yeah. I don't even understand the basis of the... Yeah. Pineapple's fucking great.
I'm a big fan. When I was diagnosed with diabetes, there were 2 fruits they told me not to eat, and that was one of them.
No.
Are you shitting me?
What was the other one?
I got off insulin. It was I think it was watermelon because of the glycemic index. There's not actually that much sugar, but there's like nothing else going on in watermelon. It is just sugar water. So those were the 2 things, whereas like berries, yeah, that's what I'm here for.
All I heard was water.
Look, I came here for a candy bar that I could justify. So give me as much sugar and as little back talk as possible, please. But berries, apparently, I think it's the fiber. Fiber is what offsets some of the sugar content. So, yeah. But does Ashley think I'm funny? I like to think so, but the jokes are getting dumber, and I feel like she's humoring me more. I said something the other day. I was like, this census data is fucked up. All these people are getting born right at the turn of the decade. No one's getting born in between. She was like, I hate you.
Oh, that would have killed with me. We should just trade. Katie and Ashley can live together.
I remember, this is not my joke, but somebody else had this joke that was like, you read the obituaries? These people are dying in alphabetical order.
Yes.
Stupid.
Yes.
But perfect. All right, Chris, I'm gonna move us into our normal stuff. So you wanted to talk about wind. We want to get a little educational here.
Yeah, what the fuck? I've had several people try to explain this to me. This kind of piggybacks off when I needed you to explain snakes to me, which I still think is fake news. I think we need to call the segment fake news because wind...
It's a bit of a loaded term, but...
You see, you need wind. No, I don't... Nice. I don't believe... I don't understand it. How does it happen? Why? Where does it come from?
First of all, it's invisible. That's not trustworthy.
Right.
I've watched Monsters, Inc. I know that's what villainous things do.
Yeah, have you seen hurricanes?
Yeah, that's a far better example.
That is wind. That
I was going to bring up the Hollow Man, but sure.
Hurricanes are wind that is not very nice.
It's definitely pissed off.
Yeah.
Tornadoes too. Definitely. We as a society these days like to mock religion a lot, but when you see a tornado, you go, yeah, I understand. If I was a cave person focused on keeping my fire going and, not shitting my brains out, finding clean water.
Somebody big in the sky made that, and they're mad.
Yeah, we definitely did something. Is that goat I fucked?
Oh, I just made myself think of that scene in The Office where Kevin's talking about Stanley and Michael.
When he's mad.
Yeah, you got Michael in one corner, and he's mad. You got Stanley in the other corner, and he's mad.
So let me explain wind to you using that metaphor, Chris. You've got high pressure system in one corner.
Okay.
And it's cold weather. And
Okay, hold on. What the fuck is a high pressure system?
The actual pressure exerted by the density of the air. So in colder weather, air is tighter. It's tighter together.
Okay.
Hotter air, it is more spread out. It's capable.
Okay.
And it's then capable actually of holding more moisture. So tighter, colder, tighter,
okay.
drier.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then sun comes out, starts fucking with the temperature above the ocean and starts fucking with it over here by the mountain and then fucks with it over here and it heats up at different rates. Then you get your pressure system
if only
changes.
Science teachers all these years have been saying fucks with is fucking with. All right, I'm going to say it. Wind is not fake news.
All right, well,
wind is the real deal.
I'm glad we were able to get there. And I'm also glad we live in not Tornado Alley.
Right.
Because, yeah, it is. I took like a whopping one mandatory weather class before they were like, all right, you can fuck off to your stupid English classes now. You can get your degree and leave. But tornado, the pressure is such, it's kind of like ripping the air out from your house.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the spinning of the tornado is what's tearing your house apart. It's the center of the tornado's pressure difference.
I would
is so
never
huge.
get my roof redone. Because as soon as I did, I know that cocksucker's coming off the NATO.
Like a classic Simpsons type bit right there. The moment you finish, son of a bitch. That's pretty good.
I always am looking for somewhere to move because it's too expensive to exist here. And I have no skills, so I'm never going to make $100,000 in a year. Like, I got to get out of here. But then I start looking like, okay, I don't want to live near tropical storms, so the East Coast is shot.
And you got some serious winter storms if the further north you go.
Right. I can do a winter storm if they didn't also get tornadoes in the Midwest.
Yeah. Midwest.
Hurricanes, tornadoes, done. Earthquakes, done. I don't want to live here anyway.
Right.
Earthquakes freak me the fuck out.
Now the Southwest, so damn hot, and you got your risk of fire so high. It's like, shit, I guess the earthquake.
Right. I start looking like, okay, where do they not get earthquakes or have tornadoes? Or I don't want to live in northwestern Wyoming. What the fuck?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we're talking about Montana.
Yeah.
I think we basically narrowed it down. And even that, you're going to get some bitterly cold winters there too. But you're not getting the fucking tornadoes.
And I might get mauled by a bear. But other than that.
True. All right, we're moving to Alaska, folks. Uncle Dave hasn't been a topic for a little bit, and I want to bring him back.
I was thinking about Uncle Dave the other day. He used to come visit us every year, and I didn't realize when I was in 6th grade that the reason he kept wanting to bring me McDonald's for lunch was because he wanted to fuck my teacher.
Oh,
he would say, I really want to park my car in her garage. And he's a car guy. I was like, yeah, that adds up. You can see he probably has a Chevy that he's got in his yard right now. He needs a place to put it. You know what I mean?
Perfect, Dave. My teacher was just thinking about how she wanted to fuck a guy that smells like WD-40 all the time.
See, I was not thinking about, because I also wanted to fuck her. So I just assumed hands off. She's mine.
Come on. I'm in class every day.
But the man wants to bring me McDonald's for lunch. That is grade school royalty. When you had
That is.
McDonald's and everybody else had some fucking dumbass lunch that their parents were Lunchables. Okay. I got fries, bitch. Or like something
big time.
from the fucking cafeteria. Like, no. When you had McDonald's at lunchtime, you ruled the world.
That is king shit on Turd Island.
But we had recess right after lunch. And Uncle Dave said, well, hey, maybe I'll stick around for recess. And we were playing football. And Uncle Dave said, I'm playing quarterback. I was quarterback in high school. So he was like warming up his arms.
Like doing the full Uncle Rico.
Yeah, right.
Throw the ball over the mountains.
Right. Probably still trying to impress my teacher, but at this point I'm just like, oh, fuck, I usually play quarterback. What am I going to play? Because I'm not fast. Like, I'm not a receiver. My options are extremely limited.
That's when you start doing, you remember...
I'm getting Wally pipped by Uncle Dave here.
You're not even injured, though. I'm healthy. You just took my job. There's no coach here. It's like Antonio Gates later in his career when everyone's like, he's 34, he's had turf toe like 3 times, and then he goes out, catches 3 touchdowns, 4 catches, but he's just got the old man, he's got just the right speed and moves.
4 catches, 19 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
That's the Moran right there. That's the Moran game we need.
I remember I juked somebody once, and it was accidental. I caught a ball, and they thought I was going to turn right, and I turned left, so he went right, and it looked like I fucking... Yeah, so everybody's going nuts. That's the fastest I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Uncle Dave's just fucking schooling all these 6th graders, right? He's like stiff-arming little kids. It's 2-hand touch. And he's like, you only got me with 1 hand. He's like stiff-arming them.
Yeah, because you have a 12-inch reach advantage.
And we're like 20 yards away. Like, this is as far as any of us can throw. And he's like, keep going.
Yeah.
This is a little ball. I can throw this at least 60.
You got like one of the little foam Nerf balls that whistles or something. Like, oh, I can get 80 on that puppy. Yeah. The firework that is Dave's arm for 6th graders at lunch.
Yeah, he dominated. He absolutely dominated.
I'm glad he got an MVP out of it.
Right.
May not have gotten
For
laid,
sure.
but he got a life-changing game right there.
He didn't get laid, but he had 12 touchdowns. So
Speaking of childhood, do you ever believe in magic? Was that ever in your menu, or were you from an early age? Was your bullshit detector off the charts?
I ruined one of my best friend's birthdays. It's his 10th birthday. We went to this place in Issaquah.
10's getting a little old for it.
Right. Yeah, maybe that's why his dad didn't chime in when I was talking about how bullshit magic
Let him cook.
No, he had his birthday at this place called Illusions in Issaquah. Did you ever get to go there?
Mm-mm.
So it was like an arcade, and it was like magic theme. Illusions with a Z at the end, not an S, because that would be fucking lame.
Boy.
It was cool. It was big, and
I do love arcades. So you
and
got me
they
sold on
they
it.
had a magic show, and so we went. It was like a Wednesday night. It was this. His parents were one of those people who were like, we're not doing it the Saturday before or after. We're doing it on his birthday. So it's like a Wednesday. It's a school night. We go to the magic show, and it was terrible because it's a magic show. And the whole time I'm just like,
was it a magic comic, or was he just doing straight magic? Is he just sweatily doing tricks?
If he was doing bits, he was eating shit. I mean, he was not getting laughs.
You got to work on your patter, son.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Every magician's just a failed stand-up comic.
You
You have to have one good bit.
Do I need a tight 20, or what if I have a shitty 5 that I just spread out as I pretend to change ping pong balls into an orange under this top hat?
Right. You can also be as hacky as you want because nobody's...
Yeah, they think that's like part of the...
There's no joke police there.
Right.
So anyway, he's doing all the fucking, like, pulling the bra out of somebody's shirt. Like, every fucking thing you've ever seen. And the whole time just like, no, I know how he did that. I know how he did that. And I'm, like, ruining it for everybody else there. And by the end of it, I'm not even realizing it because I'm just, like, silently heckling this guy. Like, I'm not actually heckling him, but I'm in the back ruining it for the entire party. And we get in the car, and it's, like, somber. Almost. And his dad goes, so what'd you guys think of the show? And I just went and then Dylan, it was his birthday, is like, well, I thought it was pretty good. And I was like, magic isn't real, right? And he's like, we just saw it. And then I got back into the whole thing, explaining it. And then his mom kept trying to keep the magic alive for him.
Well, you're just
But his dad didn't say a goddamn word. He just silently steered us home.
Oh, as soon as you said that was the first question your dad asked. He was clearly giving you a meatball to just drill. This is like Manny Ramirez when he would look bad on a curveball on purpose just to demolish one. You took that one way out of the park because that guy was not going to be back at Illusions for year 11.
Illusions didn't even make it. They closed 2 years later.
Chris heckled them so brutally. That was it. If you're getting killed by the 11-year-old,
their skee ball machine fucked you on tickets and only give you like 4. It's bullshit.
Yeah, even if you're hitting a couple center boys, come on. I know it's going to cost me 100 tickets for an airhead anyway, so just fucking cough them up so I can get my $2 worth of merchandise.
Thank you.
Christ. I'm just thinking of the kids here. Did you grow up saying grace? Did you ever have to do that?
Holy fucking balls. Did you?
No.
Nothing
at
makes
my grandma's house, we did a very short, like the shortest thing imaginable. And then we weren't doing the whole Hail Mary.
I like it when people who do say it say something short and kind of funny. You know what I mean? It rhymes. It's a couple lines.
Yeah. Rub-a-dub-dub. Thanks for the grub.
Yeah.
You know.
Bam.
Kick it off. Yeah,
Bam.
exactly.
There you
It's
go.
going to be a hell of a Thanksgiving.
Nothing makes me more uncomfortable than going to somebody's house and they say grace. Because I don't know what to do. I don't believe in any of that stuff. We've talked about this before. I believe in, something, but not like I think religion itself is just.
I believe in a higher power more than I believe in closing my eyes at the dinner table. What the fuck kind of spooky shit are you up to? What are you going to do to me?
It's getting cold.
That's when you feel somebody tickle your taint. You're like, okay, what the fuck? I thought this was Easter.
You couldn't edit this down to under a paragraph. This is fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Ecclesiastes 16:9. Come on, no one's taking notes. That's the ratio on your TV. That's not even a fucking verse.
Let's talk about Miss Smith's breast cancer after dinner. Really fucking up my appetite here. But it drove me nuts. Like, I had this one friend who was very Christian. Great family. Like, it was great. Like, I don't have a problem with people who are Christian or whatever. Yeah. I do have a problem, though, with them saying grace and making me say it.
Oh,
I was there for dinner one night. They're like, Chris, it's kind of a tradition. We always have the guests say grace. And I'm like, I don't do that.
Yeah, that's also a bad tradition. Anybody ever tell you that? It's possible to have bad ideas.
Yeah, they just wanted to see me bomb like the magician, I think.
Oh, the ultimate revenge.
They just, yeah. We got to get him back somehow.
That's fantastic. But there is also something a little silly about, and I'm not casting these people's dietary choices into any light. I don't know them, but I've had grace said to me over blue box macaroni and cheese. And I don't think there's anything divine about that.
Hey,
I think it's
if anybody's got something to pray for, it's something better than Kraft.
Get me the fuck away from this powdered cheese. You know what I'm giving up for Lent? I am giving up Kraft macaroni and cheese.
You didn't stir it long enough. It's crunchy.
The classic, oh my God, as a lifelong poor food guy, put in less milk than you think. It's like like the opposite of a salad.
A runny mac is worse than a dry one.
Get out of there. Get out. Well, you can correct that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a little dry. It's a little clumpy.
Yeah.
All right, you got room for correction there. This is like the opposite of making a salad, where somebody pulls out a salad bowl and it's like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you need a bigger one than that. Just grab a bigger one. Whatever size you grab, go up one. It's like the milk. Whatever amount you're thinking, remove a little. Just whatever amount. I don't care.
Oh, I remember. This is weird. Macaroni just triggered several memories about my brother from childhood.
I thought he was the French fry man.
Have I told you about that?
Yeah, we talked about it on an episode.
Okay. Yeah. All right, sorry, I forget some of it.
It's fair.
It's funny because I'm the fat one. Richard is quite skinny. But all my memories of him pretty much revolve around food. And one of them was whenever we would have macaroni, Richard had to have his own box because he would literally not even chew it. He just swallowed it. He would was basically drinking it. He would just fucking inhale it at a rate that still astonishes me.
I mean, they kind of build it for that.
But then he got to the point where he was like old enough to babysit or like watch. I don't like to say he was babysitting me. He's only 2 years older than me, but like look after the house while my parents were out.
Yeah, you can play video games and he can call the cops if a fire
He
starts.
burnt macaroni. Burned it. Burned macaroni.
That's pretty impressive.
It is. This man saw the instructions and said, "Don't fucking eat that."
Cheese, milk, heat. I got fire. Oh God, I don't want to say anything too identifiable here. I'll just say, friends, a cousin's parents got divorced, and then one of the step parents, new mom comes into town, burned Rice Krispies treats.
Oh no!
Which that's just fundamentally not possible based on the way Rice Krispie treats are. You get the marshmallow melted, and then you add it to. You never apply heat to the whole batch of Rice Krispie treats. But somewhere they're like, pop that shit back in the oven. That is a house fire waiting to happen right there.
I want them harder.
Okay, Chris, tree pod burial.
I saw this thing. I saw an ad about when you die, they bury you in a pod or like a sack and bury you in that, and they put like tree seeds or something in it, and you grow from that. And I got some questions. For starters, I'm concerned they may not have my size. Do we have a 2XL sack? Because
don't be putting me in some skinny birch, man. That's not going to fly.
Yeah, and what kind of seeds are we get here too? I also am just like, you couldn't make me an apple tree. I would not bear fruit. I might bear cheeseburgers.
I mean, that'd be cool. You might be a miracle in size. Yeah. Let's see if you could splice me with a pear tree.
Why is that tree sweating root beer?
Leaking sap year round. It doesn't even make sense.
Nothing to add to that?
No. I'm being a jackass, and I was making sure that I was still on track here. I very much think that that's cool, but I've always been in the...
It's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
But I think, like, there's just no... I've said this before, probably on here. I'm going to be the grossest dead bot. Like, I'm going to ruin the coroner's day. You know what I mean? Oh, great. Fat and hairy. Perfect.
That's...
This should be fun to burn, and that'll be smelly.
Yeah.
Might start a grease fire.
Considering what the last meal was because you shit your pants. You're like, oh, wonderful. Red Robin. Great. No Caesar salads for you. No asparagus here.
At least it wasn't Chipotle.
I am curious about that, but I've always been very much just cremate me.
Right. That's where I'm at too. I just feel like there has to be a certain level of health there for the people they're considering for this. Like, not everybody. I get it's probably the carbon whatever oxide it is or whatever as you're decomposing that makes this possible. But I don't know, man. I just don't feel like I would be a healthy sack.
The science hasn't been done, but I'm confident. I'm not.
I'm going to call it fake news.
Tree.
I'm going to call it fake news. Wind is more real
than my chances of bearing fruit in whatever fruit tree. I should have changed the agenda up here. I want to circle back to the old belief thing. We were talking about miracle experiences that people have when really it's just animals.
Right. I read this thing about a woman who was walking home at night, and she saw this like schizophrenic guy freaking out like on the other side of the road, and she's like, that's weird, and just kept walking.
Yeah. And
then she noticed this cat was walking along with her, kind of trying to like herd her along.
Oh, the cat was schizophrenic.
And then and then she turns around as she finally gets to her house and the cat runs off, and she sees that the guy was like 30 feet behind her and was following her home. And she was like, I think that was my grandma is my guardian angel keeping me safe. Can you imagine? You get to heaven. You get to heaven. There's all whatever you think heaven is. Fucking porn everywhere. That's for me.
Yeah.
All the cheeseburgers, Mountain Dew.
And now you're on.
And then somebody comes in, they're like, hey, they need you down there.
Yeah, you're on Neighborhood Watch.
By the way, you're on Neighborhood Watch. By the way, you're a cat.
Yes.
What the fuck? Why'd you have to make me a cat?
Yeah, you could have just had me be a guy that says, hey, don't do that. And then I could have been done. And,
Right.
Hey, that guy's coming for
Why
you.
can't you just make me a cop? This is stupid. I can end this way quicker. Yeah, I can't. I don't know why people always think it's like animals.
Yeah, you're really grasping for straws when...
Are those the same people who also think that their animals are telling them to kill their neighbor's kids or something?
See, sometimes when my cat meows at me and, too much one day, I just think it's telling me I'm going to have a stroke. Like,
Yeah.
Like your days are numbered,
So
And
what,
I'm
you
like,
figure
I know.
that's your grandma? Or?
It's it's like my grandma nenever told me that. See, that's a good point. Like, I think that was my grandma. Did your grandma know this schizophrenic guy? I mean,
Yeah. She just had a very grandmotherly
what's her
vibe.
relationship to this story? She lived in Rhode Island. She
She's
didn't know
gray.
this guy.
My grandma was gray.
It was late at night. Last time I saw her, it was nighttime.
She died at night.
The
So.
coincidences are endless. Chris, I think I might save a couple of these things because I do want to do our This Week in History, since those are not can't keep those ones. So I'm gonna fire them up here. July 14th, 1983, 40 years ago, earlier this week, or about a month ago by the time we get this uploaded, Mario is released. In the spirit of that, what's your all-time favorite video game?
Mario Kart.
Really? What console? You playing
N64. I remember there's not many like moments from my childhood I specifically remember. Like I can see, like I remember things happening, but I can see the whole, remember what everybody was wearing. Vividly remember my brother getting an N64 for Christmas.
Pretty rad.
Yeah, knowing that, I'm going to get to benefit from this gift as well.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
it's not
for
like
sure.
I'm not going to get to play
There's
that.
going to be some trickle down.
Yeah, right. But, yeah, definitely N64. Did you play?
So
Did you play Mario Kart?
Been playing games forever. Never was a Nintendo kid, so I play Mario Kart, but I'm not good at it. But I'm down.
See, I never got to have the good characters because I always had to play with my brother and sister who were older, so they got to pick first.
Right.
So I was always Wario, which I didn't realize is such a villainous thing to do.
Yeah,
but he dominates. He's big and he fucking bumps people out of the way.
Well, I think that in the first one, or not in the first one, we're not going all the way back to SNES, but in the N64, I believe DK is like notably slightly faster.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a buddy, Lucas, shout out, who in elementary school, a buddy of his showed up to school with a Shiner. He was like, what happened? Dude? Like a bad one. Like, tried to choose DK. just got obliterated by his brother for that one. There was no further explanation necessary. It was like, oh, and then what? Like, yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, you fucked up.
Yeah, you tried to choose over the older brother, which was DK. Got popped for it. Sometimes that happens. But I think my favorite video game, I have played so much goddamn Final Fantasy VII in my life. So that would be the one. But the games that I've spent the most time, it's not as interesting to say it's your favorite game, but whatever EA Sports boxing game has been created, that's like the only thing I've ever been ranked at online. All the other games, I am bad. Let the record show, I am bad. I will lose at video games to whoever you are, listener, unless it's like Fight Night Round 3.
Yeah,
then I'm gonna win.
I'm that way with Madden.
Yeah, that's just too many hours. Even as my reflexes get worse, it's like I have put like 15,000 hours into these stupid games.
Even if it was 1910 and there was a buggy around the corner, you wouldn't hit that shit.
All right, Chris. July 15th, 1916. Boeing is incorporated. How do you feel about flying? You afraid of flying? Are you?
God, I fucking hate planes. Every time I'm on one, I think I'm dying. Every single time. I'm like,
you're in the
this is
Ashley boat for
This
sure.
is it. I'm going down. I'm the one. Especially Boeing.
Oh yeah, that's why I chose
They've not
to
had
frame
a
it.
sterling
Not the
safety
best
record.
decade, no.
Yeah, not the best decade. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very relaxed on flights, but I cannot. It's the getting through the airport part. It's the amount of. I feel like I've got my shit together, and then everyone else is there stressing me. Everyone's in my way. Why don't they understand that I have to go somewhere? Yeah.
Oh, should I tell the story about Frankie at the airport or no?
No, save that one because we've got enough other things, and that one's great. I don't think that's actually too raunchy to share. July 16th, 1935, the first parking meter is installed. Is this the real catalyst for World War II?
Right. I
Who needs to invade
fundamentally
Poland?
do not believe in paying for parking.
Yeah, I think that's a good
You're
philosophy.
charging me to it's land. It's just you don't even know. Well, I mean, sometimes they own it, but fuck, that's bullshit. Like
It's land that nobody's doing anything good with.
I'm already paying the RTA tax. My tabs were $600 fucking dollars. I'm not paying to park, you son of a bitch.
Like me parking here like there was going to be a food truck there. You just took up commerce. No, I didn't. I'm in the U district.
Dude,
I was
anytime
parking
I
here.
go to a Kraken game, I park in a neighborhood. I feel bad every time. I figured out the houses where there's lonely people who don't really have guests very much, and I know I can get away with parking there.
Yeah.
But I'm not paying $35 fucking dollars for parking. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I gotta use that money for beer.
You're really cutting into my beer fund here.
Yeah, and then pizza afterwards. I always go to Mario's.
That's-
Big Mario's pizza.
Yeah, I pay for it because the anxiety of not, like, in my brain, I think this is the trap house growing up, I turned every potential confrontation with any law enforcement into a way bigger thing. So I'm like, I'll just pay the $2.
Yeah.
I don't want to be charged with a crime. Like, you won't be charged with a crime. You'll get a $35 parking ticket once a month. You'll
Yeah.
probably be okay. All right, I'm going to keep this thing moving. July 16th, 1941, DiMaggio hits safely in his 56th consecutive game. Is that a cool record, an arbitrary record, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. I mean, there's got to be some luck involved. His batting average went down over the course of that streak.
Oh, did it?
It did, because he only had like one or two multiple hit games.
Oh, I thought he had a whole bunch. I thought he had
It was a bunch of 1-for-4s and 1-for-5s.
It is very possible to keep a great hitting streak going. With.
Right. So, like, I think Francisco Mejia's hitting record in the minor, like, didn't his hit streak get to almost 80 games?
Oh, Jesus. Well, that's impressive,
That's
too.
bananas. Even if it's in the minors. That's crazy.
The fucked up thing with Joe DiMaggio, regardless, because I was under the impression that he had something like 20 multi-hit games in that stretch, but
That
Ted
that
Williams-
could be, but I know his average went down.
and that I believe because it was early enough in the season too.
Mm-hmm.
You start out hitting, very well. That's totally
Right.
feasible. But Ted Williams didn't win MVP that season when he was the last guy ever to hit 406. Now we may not have known, or to hit 400. Those folks may not have known you'd never see another one, but people knew even then that was special.
400's nuts, yeah.
Yeah, and he also won the Triple Crown. So even though I think it's crazy impressive to do that, I've always thought like it's a little more novelty. And I always think New
You won the
York
Triple Crown and
sports
don't win the
bias.
MVP.
New York sports bias in the 40s, like
Right.
that level of centrism.
Oh, in the
there.
40s?
Yeah.
Sorry, is it still the 40s?
It's well, back then you still had you had half the teams, and then you had the Dodgers and Giants both over there. Like half of the
Right.
baseball world existed in the span of a few miles.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely very cool. But I've always thought just the sheer fact that he beat Ted Williams made it a little arbitrary. Like, is that worth it? Okay, we got two more. July 17th, 1955, Disneyland opens. Have you ever been? And how has that experience prepped you for being around strollers and rascal scooters?
I fucking hate lines.
Yeah.
I hate lines for anything.
Okay, for an amusement ride, what do you consider to be an excessive line? Like for
12 minutes. If it's longer than that, that's fucked.
Oh, see, okay, you got a much shorter tolerance than me. For me, it's like once it cracks a half hour, I'm like, okay, well,
yeah, that's probably a good rule of thumb. Some places busy is Disneyland. I'm thinking of like Silverwood in Idaho. Where I know I got COVID. I know I got COVID there.
I believe that was the state name Idaho. For a while.
Yeah.
Their main export.
For sure. Yeah. I walked into a restaurant wearing a mask in Idaho, and you would have thought I walked in black. No.
Gotta keep that one. Woo!
They don't like those folks there. Yeah.
That's why that joke worked.
Yeah. I don't like lines. I really didn't. I thought Disney World way better than Disneyland. I get they get a whole world there though. So.
Yeah, they do. They get to expand into the swamp, whereas Disneyland, it's sort of stuck on the little plot they got. So, yeah. I've been to both. I enjoy the Disney stuff. At some point, I'll wear my stupid shirt with all the hats of the princes on it that I bought when I was there. Very dumb novelty shirt, but holy shit, is it not?
Wait, I know we're running over time, so one of us is gonna have to blow Jake.
That's
but I gotta ask, what's your favorite Disney character? Like of the main Disney characters, Goofy all the way for me. Big Goofy guy.
Okay, so when you say main, are we eliminating like Pixar because Woody's way up there? But
yeah,
totally valid.
I think we have to eliminate Pixar because it's Disney and Pixar, not Disney / Pixar.
I see. Yeah, Gorsh. Goofy'd be a good one. But I have to say I'm a sucker for Fantasia Mickey. If I'm going classic, I'm going It's like the certain evolutionary form, not just Mickey.
Yeah.
I need not just old Steamboat Willie. I need Fantasia Mickey.
Well, then I need Goofy as a dad. Goofy movie.
This is shortly after the Leaning Tower of Cheesa. Okay, last question, and we'll close it up for Jake. July 17th, 1984, the national drinking age is increased from 18 to 21. When did you first drink, and when did you first actually get drunk?
That's so fucking stupid, for starters. It should be 16, if you ask me.
I mean, it's working for... Yeah, if you can vote, if you can go to war, you can drink.
I forget what the rule is in Wisconsin, but I think once you're 16, you can drink. It might be 18.
If your dad says it's cool.
You can drink in the presence of adults. Like
right.
if you're, which just basically means like, okay, we're going out to the barn and...
Dad'll get it.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer. Jim Carrey quote, had to.
I knew what you were doing.
But
I just wasn't ready for it.
Drinking, when did I first... So I was a fucking nerd in high school. My parents told me if I didn't drink or do drugs all through high school, then they'd buy me a car. And so I held out for that. The big reveal was at the end of that, they just gave me the car that I already had. So they didn't buy me. They kind of fucking lied to me, I guess is what I'm saying. He lied to me. But so I didn't do any of that. And I was going to not drink until I was 21. But then when I was 19, my parents took us all on a trip to the Dominican Republic. And we were at one of those all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink places in La Romana in the Dominican. And I found out about dirty bananas, or as I would ask the bartender for, a platano sucio. Which does not translate.
Yeah, you don't want to. You definitely don't.
Adrian was confused.
Don't offer your female friends one of those.
He was like, I heard platano, so I think he wants something banana. So I got really drunk, and I remember I realized I was drunk because I kept going under the water and pretending I was an airplane. So
a classic trick.
Classic. I was also playing with the beer glasses like in the pool. So.
This one's got water trapped. This one doesn't.
Yeah. What about you?
First time I drank, I definitely asked my dad for a Rainier when I was like 6. Didn't like it. Shocker. Well, because he obliged. Because he was like,
I'll give you a full Rainier?
Yeah, he just like, crack it. You're not going to like it. I mean, I think he took it and finished it when I took a sip and was like, blah. But he was right in the sense that I didn't want to drink beer for a long time after that. It's like when a kid gets caught smoking and you make them smoke a bunch.
Yeah.
But then there were a few times where I drank accidentally. Like Mike makes, say, Kool-Aid and vodka because he doesn't have a mixer, but the kid's got Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
And then me, being 7, going, that's some Kool-Aid. Took a big old slug. But the one that was really good was one time I went to this was when it was still the Kingdom. I took a big slug of the water bottle, and it was silver rum. They had put silver rum in a water bottle. I just reached in and took like a grown-up shot, the type of shot that would make me Ralph today.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh shit, I think you got the wrong bottle. Yeah, you think, Mike? You think you got the wrong one?
Meanwhile, your dad in front of all the strangers. Well, I must have gone down the wrong hole, huh, Kolpy?
Yeah. Why does that water taste spicy? Because you inhaled it and it's a hot day.
Yeah.
Shut up. First time I got drunk, though, I was like 16 and got some Jägermeister and, teenage stupidity.
That's
right?
a gnarly way to do it.
It is. But
Is
I
that
was
when
still
you hit everybody's
scared of reindeer.
iPods?
No, that was the Judgment days, and I was 3 years. I was a whole 19. No, I was 16 for that. But no, that was a little later in the game.
Earlier or later?
It's or niner.
All right. Well, I think we got to wrap this up. This has been lovely.
Yeah, great time.
Needed this.
Yeah.
Good episode. Thank you guys for listening. If you still are, I think we still got Belgium with us. I don't understand.
Oh, we do.
How or why. They got to reach out. I got to know who these people are. Let's have them on the pod. Fly them out here. We'll fly to them.
There we go.
I want some waffles. Anyway, thanks for listening. Everybody give it up for Hot Jake on the ones and twos.
Bailing us out.
He's looking extra hot today, so keep him in your thoughts. I don't know what that means. But we're out of here. Love you. Bye.